We made it, gang. I think we're at the last world here.
Oh, nice. I'm cruising.
Oh, there isn't a cutscene.
Oh.
What a shame. Well, Jacob can continue reading as I make it to the save point, and we'll be ending probably here for tonight.
Yeah, not bad.
We braved the Icelands and hell.
Yeah, we've been learning about this Yellow King and...
Yeah. Tell me more about this Repair of Reputations fellow.
I do really... This would be a fucking killer short. Let's see. The gunboats just above are the Princeton, the Champlain, the Stillwater, and the Erie. Next to them lie the cruisers, Farrago, Los Angeles, and above them battleships California and Dakota, and the Washington, which is the flagship. Those two squatty-looking chunks of metal which are anchored off the Castle William are the double turret monitors, terrible and magnificent. Behind them lies the ram, Osceola.
Osceola?
Osceola? Oh, Osceola, thank you. It's a Floridian. I was like, it reminds me of Florida. Osceola. Constance looked at him with a deep approval in her beautiful eyes. What loads of things you know for a soldier, she said, and we all joined in the laugh which followed. Presently, Louis rose with a nod to us and offered his arm to Constance, and they strolled away along the river wall. Hochberg watched them for a moment and then turned to me. Mr. Wilde was right, he said. I have found the missing tassets and left Cusard of the Princes Emblazoned in a vile old junk garret in Pell Street. 998? I inquired with a smile. Yes. Mr. Wilde was a very intelligent man, I observed. I want to give him credit of this most important discovery, continued Hochberg, and I intend it shall be known that he is entitled to the fame of it. He won't thank you for that, I answered sharply. Please say nothing about it. Do you know what it is worth? Said Hochberg. No. $50 perhaps? It is valued at $500, but the owner of the Prince's Emblazoned will give $2,000 to the person who completes his suit. That reward also belongs to Mr. Wilde. He doesn't want it? He refuses it? I answered angrily. What do you know about Mr. Wilde? He doesn't need the money. He's rich, or he will be, richer than any living man except myself. That we care for money, then. What will we care? And he and I, when? When? When what? Demanded Hochberg, astonished. You'll see, I replied with my guard again. He looked at me narrowly, much as Dr. Archer used to, and I knew he thought I was mentally unsound. Perhaps it was fortunate for him that he did not use the word lunatic just then. No, I replied to his unspoken thought. I am not mentally weak. My mind is as healthy as Mr. Wilde's. I do not care to explain just yet what I have on hand, but it is an investment which will pay more than mere gold, silver, and precious stones. It will secure the happiness and prosperity of a continent. Yes, a hemisphere. Oh, said Hochberg. And eventually, I continued more quietly, it will secure the happiness of the whole world. Dude, every homeless person I've talked to, just like on the side of the street, some man was going to save the world with rap battles, and honestly, I did kind of...
I mean, even the rich, dude, like Elon wants us all to go to Mars,
yeah,
you know, like...
Money does not mean smart.
The obsession of just like this dude getting obsessed with this hero narrative, I think speaks to something we still see today. Like, we're gonna hustle our way to Mars. We're gonna pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Yeah, just hit that grind.
Save the world.
God, save the children, save the world. My God. And incidentally, your own happiness and prosperity as well, Mr. Wildes? Exactly, I smiled. But I could have throttled him for taking that tone. He looked at me in silence for a while and then said gently, Why don't you give up your books and studies, Mr. Castaigne, and take a tramp among the mountains somewhere or other? You used to be fond of fishing. Take a cast or two at the trout in the Wranglies. I don't care for fishing anymore, I answered, without a shade of annoyance in my voice. You used to be fond of everything, he continued. Athletics, yachting, shooting, riding. I never cared to ride since my fall, I said quietly. Ah, yes, your fall, he repeated, looking away from me. I thought this nonsense had gone far enough. So I brought the conversation back to Mr. Wilde, but he was scanning my face again in a manner highly offensive to me. Mr. Wilde, he repeated. Do you know what he did this afternoon? He came downstairs and nailed a sign over the hall door next to mine. It read, Mr. Wilde, repairer of reputations, third bell. Do you know what a repairer of reputations can be? I do, I replied, suppressing the rage within. Oh, he said again. Louis and Constance came strolling by and stopped to ask if we would join them. Hawkberg looked at his watch. At the same moment, a puff of smoke shot from the casemates of Castle William, and the boom of sunset guns rolled across the water, and was re-echoed from the highlands opposite. The flag came running down the flagpole, the bugles sounded on the white decks of the warships, and the first electric lights sparked out from the Jersey shore. As I turned into the city with Hawkberg, I heard Constance murmur something to Louis, which I did not understand. But Louis whispered, my darling, in reply, and again, walking ahead with Hawkberg through the square, I heard a murmur of sweetheart and my own Constance. And I knew the time had nearly arrived when I should speak of important matters with my cousin. Interesting. All right.
Chapter 3.
Yeah, chapter 3. I'll keep it there for right now.
Yeah, I was wondering
Interesting, though. 42.
how far we should get. But this has been Jacob reading The King in Yellow.
Yeah, thank you. That was super interesting so far, too. I do like the vibes it was giving off.
Yeah, something that really stood out to me there, and as you can see, because the overhead camera's still on, we have all kinds of crap on the table.
Yeah, we have so much table stuff on it, and a very well-read Henry has a plethora of wonderful books, which really I need to read more of this library.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, man. The Dick.
But one thing I noticed when you brought it up is how he said, like, so this guy wants to be like an emperor or a king. He wants to rule, but like he's still fine serving the king in yellow. Like he wants the recognition, he wants the power, but he doesn't want the responsibility.
Yeah. That God, just so. And I like also just the vagueness of like, it'll make you happy, make everybody happy. They just have to do what I want them to do.
Yeah.
And again, I like how the eugenics of like his head is that of a man who's crazy and mentally ill.
Oh, he has the skull like a crazy person.
Yeah, like, which is funny. And this was what? It was written in like the 1860s or 1870s?
Yeah, I do wonder, actually, early 1900s is the actual, sure. But yeah, since it is looking shortly into the near future, I wonder how much of it is supposed to be read with like an idiocracy-like tone. Like all these super racists are just running things in the future, and everybody's like judged on like this particular type of value system.
Oh yeah, stories were first published as part of the collection of The King in Yellow in 1895.
Okay, so yeah, 1895,
Yeah,
imagining 1921.
Man, that's interesting. That's what, us like doing like 2030 something?
2050-ish?
Oh yeah, 2050-ish. Yeah.
Oh, look at this big guy.
Oh, who's this portal boy?
I don't know how to deal with him.
So I'm gonna grab a paper towel real quick because I did spill a little bit of water earlier.
Go for it.
But, you know, that's what happens in TechnoPoverty world. Yeah, and what if just like a silly man? I do really, I'm interested to see where this repairer of reputations character really goes.
Yeah, part of what I find interesting is, so Robert Chambers is writing about a type of dude who gets like obsessive about these lineages and histories and is a bit of like a proto, like, like you see this type of dude on the internet all the time.
Right, they just, it feels like talking to like conspiracy theory people where they're just like referencing every single thing the CIA has ever done. You're just like, I mean, probably at this point, man, but I don't know if they're all connected in the way you think they are.
It also is one of those things, I've trashed Lovecraft before. Oh, no.
Oh, but Lovecraft did say one of the greatest, weird tales ever written.
Yeah. I do think, so like, the reason I bring up Lovecraft is because I feel the type of dude Chambers is writing about is the type of dude Lovecraft was. He was known for, you know, writing into the editor and all that. And of course there's the racism of his work that you find in works like The Street, where he's just like, oh, things aren't what they used to be. I'm just flop in this section. but I need to get to the save. I have 1 life left, chat.
Oh, you guys gotta do it.
I mean, I have 14 death coins, 1,500 gold.
Yeah, but we don't want to touch that. We want to keep those stacks.
It's 10:18, so we're still within expectations.
Yeah, we're good.
I honestly wasn't expecting to get through 2 whole worlds so fast. But
yeah, dude, man, it was really just that winter, the snow one that appeared to be as hard as we thought. And it really was
careless playing because I've been playing pretty mindfully this session. And
yeah.
I had 7 death coins at the start. I've doubled that to 14 just by playing pragmatically. Nice. Also, I picked up my favorite power up in the game, which is the spikes from the. Yeah.
That's cool as hell.
And if you get the extended shockwave, you get like 2 layers of it, and it's like one of the most broken things you can do.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Just way overpowered.
Let's not get hit by this ghost.
Nice. Fuck that skeleton.
F him up.
Do it. Bye-bye.
Okay, so maybe this time I'll be able to take on the armor man because I have 3 bars of health. I keep messing up this backtrack because there's a jump right here you have to do. I'm also realizing just the contrast of the screen. If I lean too close in and get the light in my face, it's harder to see the dark regions.
Oh, yeah.
But it's totally
sure.
legible on screen when I check what we're streaming, so it's like chat, you can see better than I can, actually.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's really funny. And I also keep forgetting we have it projected behind us the entire time, so like I'll catch a reflection in one of the other screens, like, what is moving behind me?
Oh, I'm just gonna get away from that. No, I'm not.
Oh, that stupid wizard.
But maybe I can just hang out over. Oh no, he's got range. He's got a lot of range. I don't like that. I do not. No.
Yep. What an asshole. This fucking stream boo fucker.
Okay, let's see. I think he's gonna do an attack.
Yep.
Well, of course he's gonna do an attack, but I can't.
Is that like a wall you can't get past that he's projecting?
Yeah.
Okay. You throw shit at him? Just fucking bonk him on the head. Nice. You don't like that shit. Oh! Nice.
Okay.
Tight.
Again, the best power up in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Just do that. That seems great. It seems very effective.
Those axe throwers, man.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make more use of the shield throw.
Get some range stuff. Yeah.
That guy was pretty tough.
Yeah, he was really strong. Was the little stabby guy? Stream boo! I love you, stream boo!
But can a stream boo love us?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't have it. It doesn't have it in its heart. True say. And yeah, definitely really excited to read more of that guy.
Yeah, we got a whole smattering of books on the table. We got Left-Handed Darkness, we got plenty of Lord Dunsany, which, just to reiterate some of the stuff we've covered in previous streams, we started this MAXIMO run talking a lot about Tolkien's On Fantasy, in which Tolkien talks about fantasy being a harder sell and the need for it to be more haptic, and thus it's kind of a finer art than you may realize, because, you know, realistic stories, you can just describe what's happening. Fantasy stories, you have to be detailed enough to where the reader can be kind of ensorcelled by the magic.
Yeah. Man, that's interesting.
And we talked about that idea in terms of a video game able to make the silliest of economies haptic and real and important to you. For instance, I'm talking about death coins here. There's a whole lot of just death coins, fairy collecting, coin collecting, economies that make no sense outside the context of MAXIMO. If you hear someone talk a sentence about collecting fairies to harvest their death coins, you'd just be like, what are you talking about,
what the fuck are you doing?
So yeah, that's where the Tolkien idea came into play. And we kind of talked a bit about Philip K. Dick's idea of ghosts from Ubik, Three Stigmata, Palmer, Eldritch, just this idea of being possessed by something mimetic, the way ideas pass down through means that aren't just, people don't just reproduce physically to make more people. Like, human culture is art and a whole bunch of other components. Damn,
that was close.
And Philip K. Dick gets at that in Ubik, and then he gets into the darker side of that in the Three Sigma of Palmer Eldritch. So those are all titles we've talked about. How many death coins I gotta pay? 4. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, whatever, death.
But yeah, a lot of our first session was that. We also talked about Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun and its protagonist Severian, in terms of Severian being a character conditioned in torture school to believe one thing, and then being released into a world where like those rules just don't apply anymore, and there's a confusion and a tension throughout the story because of that. Much like you'll be confused in reality if all you do is play games. Which is why TechnoPoverty espouses talking with friends and hanging with the boys. The boys, of course, can also be the girls. We love our trans friends, our queer friends. It is a very hard time out there for them right now, so please take care.
Yeah,
And
be friendly.
Take care of your queer friends.
Yeah, really do anything you can for them. Everyone needs help right now, but especially them.
It's more than just sex. These things, it goes into how we conceptualize community and relationships and friendships. Like, are your friends just there to hang when things are innocuous, and if they're cringe, you run away? Or like, is it like social support and community building? Is it?
Yeah. Everyone's got friends whenever shit gets tough that you want to be able to talk to, or
Don't be like the guy in The King of Yellow, where it's all transactional, and it's not until the dude has rare artifacts for the history nerd cares.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy has a criminal skull. Which, sadly, you will hear.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, phrenology is coming back in a wild way.
Dude, it's so dumb that is the thing.
The Jubilee video I talked about earlier, a lot of the people kept saying they were Maha, make America healthy again, and I just don't. As someone who's like casually been, I'd say even more so than casually, like I've been on fitness forums and stuff since.
Yeah, for a minute. 2009,
2010, college era, up until now. I've consistently kind of like
over 10 years. Without question.
There's a lot of just. Make America Healthy Again needs to be more than just like, oh, we're going to put our fries in beef tallow. And like, it does require a sort of...
it's like a whole shift.
Yeah, there's a whole structural thing you got to do with both how people are able to get access to healthcare, how regular and affordable healthcare is.
And do preventative with nutrition.
Just the habit of going to the doctor has been conditioned out of a lot of people because of the poverty mindset, the techno-poverty mindset, and the real-world poverty mindset. And, conditioned masculine mindsets of like toughing it out.
Right, like how many people still go to work when you're sick?
Right.
Because you literally financially cannot take the hit.
If you're scared of the job firing you, or you just feel coerced, especially with the way, it's been eased up post-lockdown, because COVID's still happening, where at one point we had a few days grace, but now it's just like, oh no, it's just like if you have the flu, like, what, can you come back in 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, it's like as long as you're not sneezing everywhere, it's like, but it's still contagious.
Right.
Like also like people die from it.
Asymptomatic.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Which, so, they have machines to speed up the self-destruction in The King in Yellow, but it does seem like the balancing act of the current administration is like how many casualties we can incur at a slow enough rate to where it doesn't alarm people.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing. Is like we opened up these suicide things and the number hasn't changed. So people are going to kill themselves anyway. Now we just have it legal. It's like, it's not... I think the problem is people are killing themselves.
There's been that whole side of, because in Canada, I think they started some of that, and it's been a bit depressing what's happened with the assisted
Yeah, the assisted death.
Yeah.
Which I know I am very split half and half on those. I can definitely see both, but it is very like it shouldn't exist in a capitalist world where like
Right,
poverty
because
is a
it's
reason you want to kill
just
yourself.
more efficient, or like it's seen as more cost effective to tell people to just to bite the bullet. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's just a complete backwards like incentive cleansing of it.
Yeah, which is just like it's insane that that's like the mindset that we've adopted.
That's some real techno poverty.
Yeah. Oh man, next one. Literally just talked to my wife about working when sick, and she volunteers. Dude, it sucks having to work when you're sick.
Hopefully not in any industry where it's too contagious or destructive. Like,
Yeah, man. What's wild is
please don't do that if you're working at a grocery store or a customer facing thing.
Yeah, lots of people. So we had someone's boss who was like a lady. It's like, I'm a mom. Moms don't get sick, and just like goes just like hacking everywhere. It's like, lady, nobody wants that. You're not a trooper for anybody. No one is impressed that you decided to work.
You know that story about that mom that lifted the car off her baby? I'm that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I'm always lifting cars off of my baby. Don't you see? Only I can do this.
This guy's particularly tough.
Yeah, I don't know. Which is funny because he doesn't look all that crazy. Like, he's just...
Seems like he's one of those axe dudes in like golden armor.
Yeah. Little fucker.
But yeah, why is this guy so...
He just like really souped him up. Fucking blast you.
Yeah, blast him with magic.
Shield come. Yeah, we don't need that motherfucker.
We got him. Oh, and there's house hidden right here.
Hey.
I am gliding through the parts of this. Like, this is back to where I was previous without all those deaths.
Yeah.
Purple guy went down.
Nice. We're getting that groove.
I've played the old Mega Mans and other old Capcom games, but Ghosts and Goblins, not as much. So I also am curious how much of these enemies are references to the old ones.
Oh, yeah.
Like the big gauntlet guy with the purple wall guard guy. Oh, I'm just out of keys. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
I've exhausted my key supply. And you know what? I'm fine with that because it's the last world.
Man, I cannot remember the name. I gotta look up another PS1 game that is giving me these kinds of vibes. I cannot for the life of me.
Was it Crash Bandicoot?
Yes. No, it was something where it was like a little boy running around in a castle with a backwards purple hat. He had like a bubble gun.
Oh, it's not out of this world, but I know what you're talking about.
I loved it as a kid. I was obsessed with it.
Does it have shadow in the title? I know what you're talking about because like it's a kid, like he crash lands on like some other planet or dimension. It has like a spaghetti strainer helmet or something similar, blue shirt.
Yeah, that sounded familiar.
Ray gun. Chat, name that game.
Yeah, name that game, chat. Like, it's just that PS. I remember I played it a lot. Like, PlayStation was my first like in-home console other than like the Game Gear. I was like, I played that game so much. And Skull Monkeys and The Lost World Jurassic Park. That was great. Great game. Yeah, get that armor.
Get that armor, get that sword. So I came down this way. Do I just have to make that jump and I just didn't do it well?
Oh, missing child alert.
Uh-oh, an Amber Alert.
Yep. Alright, it's unfortunate. And that's always the worst thing too. Like, and I get it because like with Amber Alerts, it happens so suddenly. It's the joking of like people just be like, we can't do anything about Amber Alerts. Like, it's terrifying. People are kidnapping children, like literally. It's a horrible, horrible thing. It genuinely needs to be more focused upon. But it's like, it's treated as though like that time YouTube put like their album on an iPhone. Like, I don't want this. What is this doing here?
Yeah,
there's literally a child. Like,
yeah.
we need to find this out. Like, this is not. This is something we should do about. We don't put kids' faces on milk cartons anymore.
It's just been relegated to like another annoying push notification.
Exactly.
Like,
I was like, no, that seems like different. What are you?
I think I just have to do this jump.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, the key's over here and everything, so they just really wanted me to
You just gotta go in for
just
it.
go for it. It's a leap of faith, y'all.
Yeah, you gotta hit that timing just right. Dude, nice. Damn, all that coin. 1,600.
Yeah, I'm short on keys, but I got plenty of coin.
What are you buying? What do you sell?
What are you buying, stranger? Another great action game. See, Resident Evil is just this slightly more serious, but not full tilt serious.
Oh yeah. Like,
At least 4. That's why I find 4 silly, because like, it's almost at like a Last of Us prestige title. I think Resident Evil 5 really hits that tone actually, because it's got like a more like quote unquote grounded or focused plot line.
Yeah, it's very
Resident Evil 4 is
very
still
linear.
like, here's a minecart level, here's a giant statue. Like,
Yeah, more adventure-y.
I just feel that game's very long. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but I don't.
Oh, 4? Yeah. There's so many bits too. Like I always forget that you have to go to like the islands. It's just like a couple little small bits of just like all the Marines that are over there. I'm like, man.
I was actually a little saddened because the remake took out a part.
Really? What part did it?
If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
there's a part near the end of the original where you're fighting like a monster with a scissors head thing. Mm-hmm. And you like have to run through like falling compartments to dodge it, and then you fight it in the round.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being in the remake. I may be wrong about that, but I remember something being shorter at the end of the remake, and I think that was it.
Interesting.
Okay, where am I going? Where does Maximo need to go?
Glass Prison. I think I put
What up, Golden Drake?
Golden Drake. What up? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, we're at the end of tonight's session trying to brave this final level before we find a safe spot. Now, I think I'm supposed to do something to launch this guy. Is there a keyhole I'm just not seeing somewhere?
Is there something with these arrows? Oh, can you throw a thing? Throw your shield somewhere? Okay.
No. There's a battering ram.
Damn, it's wild how dark that monitor is compared to the fucking actual gameplay.
Oh, you know what? I can probably...
Just jump up, double jump?
No. Unless that's like a cannon over there.
Right, you have to like smack one of those things? Like you hit one and then it gets the thing going or some shit?
Am I missing something pivotal? Jumped over there. Came through here. Looks like I'm going over there. No secret platforms. Do I just hit this rock? No.
Cool though.
Is there a panel or something? Maybe.
That's right.
There we go.
Ah, the thing. That's right.
Finally, progress.
We love that. Giant hole.
Checkpoint.
Nice. Skeleton boy.
I'm out of shield, but
No! Fucking wizard.
old man wizard.
Old man wizard.
I don't mind the old man or the baby ones. The ghosts that make you move are the worst. The ghosts that animate you beyond yourself without you realizing. Alright?
They're both horrifying and angry.
If you have ghosts, you have everything. Golden Drake, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Rest of the chat, how are you doing? How did you feel about the first 2 chapters of The King in Yellow? Maybe next session when we're getting through the end of the game, we can have Jakob finish the story.
The repair of our reputation.
Yeah.
See how much money Elon Musk would fucking pay to that dude.
I mean, that's why he bought Twitter, right?
Absolutely.
He views it as like the faucet of reputation repair. Yeah, so much of it speaks to cancel culture too.
Yeah, which is really funny that even back then it was like, well, and I like also that they had dates when they need things repaired by. I need my reputation to be ready by this fall. Thank you.
I wonder, like, is that just old-timey, like, because publication schedules are different? Like, there was going to be a banquet on that day or something, so they just want to be, like, up to snuff by then?
Yeah. Yeah, and Golden Drake says, doing well, thanks. I had never seen this game before, but I've been enjoying your playthrough and discussion. I'm here from the Wisecrack crowd.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for coming over. Really appreciate it.
Mondays are no more, but Michael Burns and I still have some things to do.
Some fun stuff.
We're going to have some guests on this stream as well that you may be familiar with in time.
Yeah, just keep tuning in. You know, we're going to keep being here. And thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, Jakob read some Chambers earlier on camera. I kind of liked it. We may keep that format going if we find some appropriate short stories.
Yeah. Oh, also a good point. So the reading, they liked the reading, worked a little better. Oh, the book camp worked a little better for the comics, obviously, but it was a good thing. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll find picture books for me. We'll do some cool ones.
Jakob start Absolute Batman just on stream.
Dude, yeah.
Absolute Batman, for those who don't know, is a new run on Batman that DC started in the comics.
People have been talking about it.
Yeah, he is not rich. He is the son of a teacher and a social worker. Bruce Wayne's a working civil engineer for the city. He has like an intimate knowledge of like the architecture and such, so that he can take advantage of that. But yeah, cool. he's a more working class Batman. And so far, a lot of like the traditional rogues, like the Penguin, the Riddler, and such, they're not villains, but they're in the plot, and they're all like Bruce's childhood friends. So I'm kind of curious.
Oh,
I'm kind of curious how like the Rogues Gallery is going to form. I have a running theory that like it looks like the Joker's rich. I'm wondering if he's going to start doing like venture capitalist funding, and some of Bruce's friends are going to be jealous because if Bruce gets to be a vigilante, why can't they? And through that, we'll start seeing like the ethics of vigilantism, like
depending person to person,
like what the Penguin's doing versus what Batman's doing, and why one works and the other doesn't, etc.
Oh,
I'm hoping for that. I know Mr. Freeze is due next, but the first like arc of the comics just finished, and it was very good.
Damn, that's exciting. Definitely have to check that out.
I was worried for a moment it was gonna just quickly like reassert itself as like almost normal Batman status quo, because there's a few things Bruce does that does seem kind of magical for being as broke as he is, but there's still some character stuff like the friends being in the know and such that I think keeps it open to interesting twists on the Batman myth.
Oh, hell yeah. We're listening to Batman. I've always loved that good Batman.
And this is something I say all the time, but if you feel superhero fatigue because of what's going on with popular movies, I implore you to, if you still like the things or are curious but maybe tired of movies, checking out the comics. Both because comic art's, like, just the print media, like, drawn art is really fucking radical. I still feel like a 12-year-old when I open a new comic book and see a drawing that's, like, really cool. It just arrests me in that way. But because they don't have to deal with as much overhead and budget stuff and juggle so many interests as like a movie or a production of that size, they can be riskier and funner. So yeah, Absolute Batman is definitely worth checking out. Also, Denise Camp's take on the Ultimates. And Absolute Martian Manhunter #1, which I read on stream Saturday. It surprised me with a little gag it did with physical media.
That's so cool. I love stuff like that.
I am looking for the save pool. Have you seen the save pool?
I have not yet.
There's the level I just cleared. And we're in Maximo's castle. I think a cool thing about that is we see this giant drill, which is the hell drill Akil is using to break into hell and steal the power of death.
Tight.
Again, Akil has wrongfully stolen Maximo's throne from him, is abusing the powers of necromancy, and the Grim Reaper doesn't like that, so the Grim Reaper has given Maximo the ability to come back to life. Yeah, it's a cool little dramaturgical explanation for the life system, the game over system in this game. Fun stuff. I'm gonna save now.
Nice.
I might again do an off-screen grind just to get some keys and some life back.
Oh yeah.
But we'll be back Thursday to finish off MAXIMO Ghost to Glory.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you all for tuning in. I think we're gonna probably beat it within the first half. Look at that. I'm so paranoid about saving that I'm doing it twice. I'm spending the money to do it twice.
Oh, nice.
But if we finish MAXIMO early, we have a co-op game in mind to kind of fill out the back half with that is related to what we've been playing. Let's go back to the couch for a moment. Is Barney around? Is Barney still here?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay,
Meander,
well, it's late. She's sleepy. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been TechnoPoverty.
Yeah, real quick. From Elman X, has Gotham ever become a nice place to live through the efforts of Batman and the Commissioner? Maybe. The new one, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know about, because Absolute Batman just started, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. And then Golden Drake again. I'm glad you guys and Michael are continuing to create cool and insightful content. It helps us stay sane in these strange and somewhat troubled times.
Yeah, that's part of why we do this as a stream. I mentioned this on the live today, but the improvisational nature both allows y'all to participate a bit more than if I just did a video essay and you were commenting on YouTube. But also, like, when I started this, I wasn't expecting to bring up Le Guin. So Le Guin kind of came up organically through the chat. The King in Yellow. I told Jacob to read this, and I wasn't really expecting it to link with this in particular. It was more just because, Jacob's been looking to read more, and it's a cool, accessible thing. But that tied in well with kind of what we've been going at with these conditioned states, and being a product of your environment, be that a video game or, as in the book, a white nationalist state. Didn't bring up as much Blood Meridian as I would have liked to, but considering what The King in Yellow was about, hell yeah, I think we got some similar ideas.
Yeah, it's really fun with getting the ideas flowing.
But yeah, that's the gist of TechnoPoverty. We love talking with you. We love nerding out about our books and our video games in this casual sense. It doesn't all have to be a productivity grind. Find art and ideas you like and just kind of share them with friends. Be sociable.
Yes, it's so much fun. And the more stuff you read is the more stuff you can talk about with people.
Yeah, that
it's
too.
so much fun just being able to chat with people about things. I mean, it's
I'm
fun
one to definitely engage in politics and those kind of conversations, and I know there's people who aren't, but if all you have is what you've been doom scrolling and looking at on your phone, that's so all you're going to be able to talk about. Whereas if, you do read a book, or even play a game, or even think about, I'm hoping we're kind of getting the casual sense of book reading. I hope we get that bug into you, because I don't want to present this thing as like, look, you could be like, we're dumb and it's all dumb, and like I don't want to be like anti-academic, but I'm for a pro-casual consumption of art that I think is overlooked these days, as a lot of like consumption models want us to be a fan all the time in the ways of like, they want you to go on the internet. They want you to go on the subreddits. They want you, if you're talking about horror, you better be talking about horror on the forums. You gotta, it's totalizing. Everything's like beyond just like one movie or one series becomes a lifestyle brand or an attempt at it. It's just an attempt to commodify and squeeze the most out of it. And it's like, hey, you don't have to be a super diehard, forum-dwelling Star Wars fan to really just enjoy this one thing. We're just sharing.
It's cool, and you can do that.
I don't know. I hope that was legible. But once again, thank you for joining TechnoPoverty. We are going to watch Freddy Got Fingered on April 20th on the Discord. For details on how you can do that, check the socials.
Links. We got them.
And speaking of socials, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for the support you've been showing as far as following us on Twitch and YouTube goes.
Yeah, it really means a lot. It's very exciting.
We've had a surprising amount of growth. We started on St. Patrick's Day, and I think we're going to make affiliate once we're done with this broadcast.
Yeah, and thank you guys for that, because it is, we come up here, but it's nothing without you guys, so. Otherwise, just me and Henry in a room.
Right. So, as we say goodbye, just hope the rest of your week goes well. We'll finish MAXIMO on Thursday. Until then, take care.
Take care, y'all.